What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the E-Channel. Episode 4 of Severance is just around the corner now, entitled Woe's Hollow, and it looks like our MDR team is finally about to go on their Arctic adventure that we saw in the Season 2 trailer. And according to some of the early reviews that have been coming out, it looks like Episode 4 is going to change the entire face of the show going forward, and a massive reveal will be dropping by the end of the episode. Actor Adam Scott, who plays Mark S. on the series, has recently said that this was his most challenging episode ever filmed on the series. He also remembers having an early conversation with creator Dan Erickson about a fascinating idea he had for Episode 4, and what it would ultimately entail. So if nothing else, it looks like Episode 4 of Severance is going to be quite a pivotal one in the series' history, and apparently will be taking the show to places that they have never gone to before. And to top it all off, it is said that a massive fan theory that has been going around all season will be definitively answered in this episode as well. And I get the feeling that will ultimately be, is this really Helly or Helena who returned to the Severance floor? And on top of that, of course, we have all of the other main storylines that will be playing out in Episode 4 as well, like how exactly Mark's integration is going to go, and apparently Irving is going to have a very interesting episode as well. And while the official Apple synopsis for Episode 4 is pretty slim, stating that the team participates in a group activity, luckily we have also uncovered some other information that can give us a hint as to what we can expect in Episode 4 as well. Starting with the team going on to traverse an unfamiliar terrain. Mark and Helly begin to explore their feelings, and Irving harbors a growing distrust for a friend. So it certainly seems like Severance is pulling out all the stops for this upcoming 4th episode, which is going to be a major turning point in the series. One that is not only going to have some big reveals in it, but also some big reveals that will lead to new questions as well. Which, if nothing else, is pretty common for the mystery box style of storytelling that has become so popular in today's filmmaking. Usually you get a massive answer, followed by a new question that it leads to. And on the cycle goes, until the big reveals come at the very end. But with all the massive hype surrounding Episode 4 and how it has been described as mind-bending and changing the face of Severance forever, one can only wonder what exactly they have in store. And based on the limited footage we have on Episode 4, it looks like this will indeed be the case. It certainly seems to be one of the trippiest episodes we have ever seen. The Episode 4 trailer starts off with the famous scene that we saw in the Season 2 trailer of Milchick also standing in his Arctic gear, saying now to somebody on the radio, which could potentially be a sign of him signaling someone back at Lumon to switch the innies back to the outies, or vice versa. As next, we have a scene of what appears to be Irving screaming, "Where are we?" which could indicate his innie or his outie waking up in the middle of a brand new surrounding and not realizing how he got there. And seeing the innies outside during the day is going to be interesting to say the least. After all, this is going to be the first time any of them have ever seen the sky during the day. Yes, a few of them did make it outside at the end of the Season 1 finale, but it was nighttime. But now they are actually getting a chance to see what the world really looks like in broad daylight. And I do get the feeling this is going to be the innies that are outside, as they are going to be participating in a group activity. And I get the feeling that this is going to be a Lumon-approved activity as well. I don't think they snuck out on their own. I highly doubt Lumon would make it that easy for them to activate the overtime contingency once again. At least, not without them authorizing it first. But next, we also get a shot of Mark and the rest of the MDR team trudging through the snow heading into the woods, followed by a shot of Irving standing in front of what could potentially be a fire based on the glow on his face, with what appears to be Miss Huang in the back, dressed in a similar outfit that Milchick is dressed in as well, indicating that it was most likely Lumon themselves who gave our characters their attire, which of course just further indicates that it was Lumon themselves who sent them on this field trip. Which of course begs the bigger question, just why exactly did they send them on this trip in the first place? Is it simply a team-building exercise to keep the team focused and Mark working on Cold Harbor, or is there a deeper meaning to it? But next we see a longer extended clip of a scene we saw in the original Season 2 trailer, of a macrodat computer in the snow, and here it looks like Irving himself is walking up to it. Now of course, Irving has had similar dreams and visions in the past, dozing off at his desk at Lumon, and seeing all of the black paint overcome his cubicle, which he later finds out is because his outie has been painting the mysterious hallway non-stop, indicating that somewhere deep in the subconscious of Irving's outie, he is seeing this elevator. But what exactly is going on here? Is this simply just another dream that Irving is having, or could it potentially be a little bit more? As we continue to look, it looks like Christopher Walken's character Bert is also going to be appearing in this dream as well, sitting at one of the cubicles. And of course, if we look back to the synopsis for episode 4, it does state that Irving is going to start growing distrusting of a friend. Could this friend potentially be Bert? Will Bert be doing something that is going to make Irving second guess his nature and whether or not he can trust him? After all, we have seen in previous episodes Outie Bert following Outie Irving for some reason. And part of me did always wonder if there was a little bit more to Bert than originally meets the eye, and maybe we'll find out exactly what that is in episode 4. And then, of course, the synopsis also states that Mark and Helly are going to be exploring their feelings. At the end of episode 3, of course, we saw Mark begin his reintegration process, but we're still not 100% sure how it is going to go. We did, of course, see Petey undergo the same procedure in Season 1, which ultimately led to his death. Although Rahigby did state that she had gotten much better at the process since then. And her statement in and of itself begs quite a few new questions as well. Like, for starters, what exactly did she mean by she had gotten better at the process? And does that potentially mean that she has reintegrated other characters in the meantime? And could there even potentially be reintegrated characters currently on the severed floor that we don't even know about? If nothing else, it certainly begs a few new questions, to say the least. But overall, it looks like episode 4 is shaping up to be a monumental episode in the Severance franchise, one that is apparently going to be not only mind-bending, but will be changing the very face and foundation of Severance going forward, along with answering a big fan theory definitively, which naturally, of course, will only lead to a few more questions as well. But definitely leave your thoughts and predictions down in the comment section below. What is this big reveal that we are about to see in episode 4, and how exactly will it change the show of Severance? But that is going to do it today for our episode 4 preview breakdown, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on your way out and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming Severance content. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.